Hey there, welcome. It's Monday, March 15th, 2021. We're 2.5 months exactly through the year already. And man, what a month March has been. We started out the month in warm weather. We've actually had temperatures above 70 degrees. The snow's pretty much all gone from earlier this year. I personally was out and I mowed my front yard this past week. And now overnight and today we're seeing more winter weather again. The good news is it won't last. So anyway, hang in there. My name is Les Solgrove. I'm with Via Realtors. This is Simply Des Moines 15-minute market update. And it's all about what's happening in the Des Moines real estate market in central Iowa here. So let's jump right in. Our homes for sale inventory is up again slightly this week, which is good because we've been on a downward turn. We're up 11 homes more than we had this time last week. I'll take every little tiny victory like that we can get. Our median days on the market is pretty much flat. It's still about 14. Well, actually, it dropped one day, 14 days on the market median. So half the homes sold were on the market 14 days, and half of them were on or more, and half of them were on the market 14 days or less. And our months of inventory just over 1 month. So this is new construction and everything. So that's 1.2 months before we would run out of all homes for sale if no new homes come on the market. A topic we're going to talk about next week is some of the potential records we're going to be seeing. Not potential, almost guaranteed records we're going to see. We've got 3,200 homes for sale or under contract right now. That's 143 more than the same time last year. And in a second here, we're going to talk about closed sales here at 2,225, and our median sale price is up by another $5,000 this week, or a median sale price is $230,000. So the milestone we hit this past week, we did hit over 2,000 closed sales on March 8th, and that was about a week earlier than what we did the previous year. This graphic over here on the right, you see two lines here. This is the second 1,000 closed sales. The red line shows when we hit 1,000 closed sales. We did that within 36 days, and it took us less than that time to hit 2,000 closed sales, and that's ahead of last year. We were 76 days in before. So this will be a recurring graphic we'll see every time we hit that 1,000 closed sale mark here. So we'll watch for that. The other top story this week is just kind of looking at our weekly count of homes added to the market. Now, this is the graphic I showed you last week through week 9, and the anticipation was that week 10, if we were going to do what we did last year, we're going to have a pretty good week and add quite a few more homes to the market. Well, as I mentioned earlier, you probably know that we didn't get as many homes on the market as we hoped. In fact, we only got 254 homes actually added to the market this past week, where a year ago we had 426. So we're still in this deep need for homes for sale. So we need listings. We need sellers to say, hey, I think it's time to come on the market. So we'll watch this as we move forward here. And at the end of week 12, we'll reset this for the next 90 days. So the week in review, essentially, our new listings, as I mentioned earlier, we're up about 254 is what we added to the marketplace, but that's still down from where we were a year ago. This is comparing again this past week to the same time a year ago. So last year we had 172 more listings added than we did this past week. Price increases are still rising, predominantly, again, new construction, cost-driven. We're just going to see this as recurring number throughout the year. Price reductions are down just because there's not very many homes out there to reduce because they're selling so fast. Our offers accepted, again, we're up not as much this week. This was kind of a modest increase in accepted offers. Only 70 more than the previous week last year, but 352 homes went under contract. That's 352 home buyers that are now not having to compete with the group of home buyers that are out there looking, are back on market rate. This is where a home goes under contract and then something happens, whether it's the inspection, appraisal, whatever, and it comes back on the market. We're hovering right about that 17% mark again this week. I think we were 18 last week. And again, we talked earlier about closed sales breaking through the 2,200, above the 2,000 mark here. Open house traffic. Now, this is going to be one that's going to be interesting to watch from this point forward, because if you remember, this past year, about this time is when COVID really took a hold, and we actually just saw this huge drop of open house traffic. And I'll have a graphic next week that kind of shows where that traffic drove. So we're not going to see, probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks on, we're not going to see this 75% down, 54% down, 38% down in open house traffic, because open house traffic just pretty much just collapsed this past year about this time of year, and has been very low the rest of the year. So we'll kind of watch that as we move forward here. So this week's spotlight is all about how the market is adapting, and I kind of alluded to this last Monday. We're in this deep seller's market. We have more buyers than we've ever had out looking for homes, and we have fewer homes for sale, and it's just been a mad dash. So I thought this week would be a good week to talk about kind of how the market is adapting. And the talk on the real estate streets is basically we hear realtors all the time saying it's pretty much the Wild West out there. Or is it the Wild West? It kind of is the Wild West. There's just sellers are doing, buyers are doing kind of strange things to get into houses, from being available on an instant to sellers going, you know what, we're going to list our houses, maybe on a certain day and not allow for showings or not allow offers for 2 or 3 days. We'll talk about that. That's our topic this week here. So this is what a typical new listing activity would look like. You got a buyer pool off here to the right, and you've got buyers, and they're all waiting for this property. And the game for them is how fast can they get into a house. And so when a house comes on the market, and it's literally, it feels just like this. It feels like we have one house to 50 buyers or more, and it's probably worse than that. But a home comes on the market, and it's really this mad dash for somebody to get over there and jump in and see the house and make an offer, sometimes on the spot, and try to get that home under contract before all of these other buyers over here have a chance to get in. And of course that, it makes the buyer pool out there feel pretty sad, because they're not able to get in to see homes. And most buyers out there are having to work during the day, and they don't have that ability to just drop everything and run, although, it's becoming kind of the norm. So what's happening in our marketplace here is we're starting to see this process called extended showing periods. And so what that means is, what is an extended showing period? Well, here's our property over here on the left-hand side, and you got your buyers on the right. And basically it's a process where a listing agent will list a property and allow 1, 2, maybe 3 days to get in to see the property before any offers will be reviewed. So here we are on day one. It gives buyers this opportunity to really, at their, I don't want to say leisure, but not have to break away from the desk at work and run right over and see a house. They get to go in and see the house within this set period of time. Now the listing agents are advertising out there the number of days that this home will be available before offers will be accepted. So, this, in a perfect world, this will work really fine. And it is working well as long as everybody does what they're advertising they're doing. So it's a whole nother topic. So here's day 2, you get another set of buyers in. Day 3, you get more buyers in, and basically what happens is, you get more showings at a slower pace. And, at the end of the 3rd day, then the listing agent's going to sit down with their seller and present any and all offers. And, the goal here is still to get the home sold for the seller and get the best offer accepted. And you're still going to have, of course, buyers out there that missed out because you can't sell the same house more than one time. But this is an example of just some of the remarks in the agent remarks that the public doesn't see on our multiple listing service. And I did a quick count. I used the keyword reviewed in our remarks, and if I had another words, we would have found more. But within just a quick search, I found 30 plus listings this past weekend alone that were being offered with extended showing periods. And some of the remarks say, offer will be received offers will be received until Sunday 3/14 at 6 p.m. So this would have been, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, somewhere in that point, when this listing came on the market. This is where it's advertised. They're going to wait till Sunday at 6 p.m. The next one down here, Sunday at 7 p.m. Third one down, 7:30 on Sunday night. The one in the center here, March 16th at 6 p.m. I like this one because they're not only doing reviewing offers at 6 p.m., but they're also holding an open house, and they're flat out saying to allow all parties to come through if a private showing can't be scheduled. And we have a duty, as our code of ethics with the National Association of Realtors. Our number one code, our first code of ethics. There's the number one of our list is that we shall treat all parties equally and fairly. And that means all parties. That means that, we will treat, as if we're representing the seller, we're going to treat even the buyers fairly. And we're trying to treat everybody like you want to be treated. So this is where I believe that extended showing period is a good thing for our industry. We just got to be sure that we follow all the rules. So there are some benefits and some risks when you're talking about extended showing periods. So some of the benefits, and these are just two or three, obviously one of the biggest benefits are that it allows time for more buyers to see the property. If you list the property and you're not doing this, then a seller is, maybe more likely to accept the first offer that comes in because they're not sure that the next offer will come at all. If it does, will it be as good as the first offer? Well, the extended showing period allows basically for more time for that. It also allows for potentially for multiple offers to come in. So there's a chance that we'll have more than one offer at the time. Buyers are less likely to have buyer remorse when they're able to kind of slow down, think through the house, and make a measured decision about what they want to offer. And will this house really meet their needs? They're less likely to have buyer's remorse and maybe come back on the market. So, and then of course, the biggest benefit, I think, is that the seller has a better chance of getting the best offer. We'll talk about what a best offer is here in a second. Now, some of the risks involved when you do this extended showing period. Some buyers, they're not willing, or maybe they can't wait. If they've sold their home, or if they have to be out of an apartment or whatever, they don't have the time to wait 2 or 3 days to find out if they're going to be the one that has the best offer. So, sometimes this will backfire for a seller, but, that's just a risk that I think some sellers are willing to take. What happens if another home comes on the market that's competing with the current listing? If you have a house and all of a sudden one comes that has an extra bedroom, for the same price, for example, that home is probably going to be, chosen over, this one. And then the buyer that may have made an offer is going to hold off and make an offer on that one instead. Competing offers can drive offer prices higher and potentially maybe above list price, creating the potential for appraisal problems. So the appraisals, I personally had one that came in that sold above list price this past week or a couple weeks ago, and the appraisal came in and it didn't appraise. I mean, it still appraised higher than where we thought, but it's, that is the potential. That's the risk that you have, is that it may not appraise. And on the negotiation side, if you got multiple offers, it can be harder to evaluate those offers. And it goes back to what is the best offer. Sometimes the highest offer is not necessarily the best offer. You might have other terms in that offer, such as delayed possession. Maybe the buyer isn't asking for closing costs or a home warranty, or maybe they're willing to waive a home inspection, something to that effect, where, it might be a lower dollar offer, but it might still be the better financial or better offer for the seller. So just some things to think through. If you're thinking about buying or selling, and you just beware. If you're a buyer, you may start to see this more and more. And if you're a seller, it's something you would want to consider. It's maybe not the right thing for every listing, but I think it's a pretty good solution for many. So, all right, next week we're going to talk about the inverted market. a little bit, and some upcoming records that will be happening this year. There's just no doubt that we're going to break records in 2021. We're already breaking them left and right in inventory count, but there's some other areas we're going to break them in. So I hope you'll join me next Monday at the same time. At the same time, also, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/c/Les Solgrove Simply Des Moines, or just search YouTube and search Simply Des Moines and you'll find me there. But anyway, I appreciate your time this week. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk to you again next week.